And at one point, I think some players were around me, and I came through. And I saw the way was open to the goal. So I was like, okay, I keep dribbling now, and I need to finish this, to be honest. At the point I was taking the shot, I was like, I need to score this one. And luckily it happened.
It seems like we had Lionel Messi turned into Micky van der Ven, running down from his own goal and all the way to the other end and scored a fantastic goal. I think he's our top scorer in all competitions, so he can keep going. He can keep, by the way, walking past me if he's angry after a game, if he deliver like this.
High praise, and rightly so. Given the PUSKAS award now, Tottenham say, hard to agree? Hard to disagree, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there ain't going to be many better goals than that. You know, you're going to do something special to top it. The fact that, you know, he's gone from his own 18-yard box and he's drove through the middle of the pitch. He's gone past 4 or 5 players. I mean, he's basically gone past the whole team with his pace and his drive. Then to have the composure to finish. There was a pass. I thought he might have passed it, but I thought, you know what, go for the glory. And it was a great finish. The composure, the pace, the technique, the run. I think it's the best goal I've ever seen from a centre-half. I haven't seen a better centre-half goal. You know, we can talk about great strike. Vincent Kompany, great strike. Jagielka, Everton against Liverpool, great strike.
Gary Cahill overhead kick.
Cahill's, yeah.
Billy Palbert chip against Manchester United.
Yeah, there's plenty out there, right? Centre-halves are good players and they've got good technique. I don't think there's a centre-half in the world that can do what Van der Ven done last night. I don't think there's a centre-half that can do that.
No, I definitely can't argue with you on that. Well, joining us now is Chris Cowlin, who was at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last night. Chris, have you ever seen a centre-back score a goal that good?
Tom, Jamie, good morning to you.
Morning,
no,
Chris.
I haven't. I completely agree with Jamie there. Unbelievable goal. Unbelievable defender. He confirmed last night that he used to play at centre forward, and you can certainly see that. An excellent finisher. As Thomas Frank said, our top goal scorer right now. But for what he did, and I know you guys have spoken about some of the great goals that centre-backs have scored, but I agree with Jamie. I don't think there's a centre-back in the world right now that can run the length of the pitch and deliver a finish like that. So incredible. And, yeah, you've got to give him the PUSKAS award. Son won it in 2019, so another trophy for Tottenham coming our way.
So, should he even play centre-back then? Is he wasted at centre-back? You could put him left-back and he can go up and down the left-hand side. He could even play further up the pitch. What do you think?
I think it's very fair to say, Tom, I think you could play him across anywhere on the pitch, and his physicality, his speed, his finishing, his tackling, he's an all-round player. And I was at the Fans Forum recently, and Vinay Venkatesham, our CEO, said the best bit of world football business in the summer was Christian Romero signing a new deal. And I tell you what, Spurs need to now Micky van der Ven down to a new deal. He's got 3 years left on his contract, but you know we need players like this going forward if we're going to be challenging for major honours.
I genuinely think he could be Gareth Bale. You know, when we talk about you know I played with Gareth Bale when he was a left back, and you could see his athleticism, but you saw he had pace. But what he'd become, I mean, he'd become a right winger in the end. He became a number 10. Micky van der Ven, I think, he's almost wasted as a centre-half when you've got that type of pace and skill and drive. He can finish. I genuinely believe that, you know, in the future, you might look at it and say, can we play him left wing? Like, could you play him somewhere else? Could he be a 6'4" left winger who's good on the ball, gets to the byline, you know, gets crosses in? No one can keep up with him. I just don't know whether he's almost too good to play centre-half with the attributes that he's got.
But that's such a good quality to have to play in any position and do very well. And the other thing, Jamie, as well, that, you know, before we signed him, he'd only actually played a handful of games for Wolfsburg. So the scouting for Micky van der Ven was absolutely exceptional. And we need more players like this coming into the football club, certainly.
But are you worried, though, that he's your top scorer with 6?
Yeah, that is a worry.
I think certainly in the final third we need to do a lot more. I thought Mawani last night was excellent. Yes, he missed a couple of opportunities, but he laid one off for Odebear. There were a lot of positives last night. I know in the last couple of weeks we've spoken, you know, certainly since the Chelsea game about the lack of creativity in there. Javi Simmons certainly delivered last night as well to get his confidence up, player of the match. So, yes, you know, that final third, there is a lot of work to do, but we know that Thomas Frank does get the best out of players, certainly in that area. Dominic Solanke, of course, is coming back after the international break, so certainly that will give us a little bit of a lift as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of work to do. Shame for Richarlison as well. You really want it to work for him, and, of course, missed the penalty at the end. That would have given him great confidence.
Chris, I have to be honest, though. Look, we were good last night. It was Copenhagen, right? So we can't get too... We were shocking against Chelsea. Our home film hasn't been good. Yeah, in the Premier League. In Europe, it's actually been really good, but for some reason in the Premier League, it's been poor. When I look at recruitment, when you look at Romero, you know, you look at Van der Ven, you look at Udogie, Porro, you go, you know what? Back four, solid. I like Paulinho. I know Carragher dug him out. I didn't necessarily agree with it. But when you look at the front line of Spurs, it ain't good enough. We need to invest. The players aren't at the level to be top four, regular, fighting it out. They're not. We haven't replaced Kane. We haven't replaced Son.
Yeah. I completely agree, Jamie. When you go from a forward line, you know, a world-class forward line in Heung-min Son and Harry Kane, to then, you know, Richarlison, Tel, Moani, with respect, you know, these players do really need to step up, or Spurs need to go out and, you know, buy top-quality players in the January transfer window, which, of course, is very hard. The summer is probably going to be the one. And, you know, with Daniel Levy departing the football club and the owners saying about ambition constantly, we want to see that ambition on the pitch. And you're absolutely right. If we want to be challenging for the top honours, we need top professionals certainly scoring goals, you know, to feel very, very confident, because there are a lot of people before the game kicked off last night. There were a lot of fans worried about where the goals were going to come from. And like you've said, let's not get carried away. Yes, we got a really good win, and it was a really good performance, which was much needed, by the way. We needed a good performance. We needed to be entertained because fans were moaning about that. We needed the 3 points. We got all of those things last night. The Manchester United game coming up is going to be very difficult. Yeah. Then, of course, after the international break, Arsenal and PSG, two extremely difficult games. So when you're talking about creativity in that final third, we certainly need to deliver, or Micky van der Ven needs to run up the pitch and score another like that.
In 10 seconds, how confident are you about Manchester United on Saturday?
Well, we've won the last couple in the league. Of course, we beat them in the Europa League final. So we've got to feel confident. And this game, this performance, you know, we've got to use this confidence now to go into the game and get another 3 points before the international break.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Cheers, Chris.
Thank you.
Next, we're focusing on clubs without a manager. Celtic